Hello, everyone. Today, I have a chilling tale to share. A story told to me by a friend, an archaeologist, with a trembling voice, as if the fear still clung to him. It's about the chest beneath the Ayutthaya Wall, one of the most terrifying ghost-guarding treasure stories I've ever heard. Have you ever wondered why ancient treasures are often watched over by spirits? Why were our ancestors so afraid? Today, we'll uncover the answers together. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Pull your blanket close, because this story might just keep you awake. Imagine this. Ayutthaya, an ancient city brimming with history. Once a glorious capital, filled with temples, palaces, and bustling crowds. Now, it's nothing but ruins. Crumbling temple walls, shattered red bricks, overgrown with weeds. The air smells of damp earth. The wind whispers through SSSS, like echoes of the past. A team of archaeologists arrived to excavate ancient relics. Scholars, students, and local workers, all buzzing with excitement. Ayutthaya is a historical goldmine. But what they didn't know was that beneath the ruins of a temple wall, something waited. Not just artifacts, but an owner who wasn't going anywhere. Feeling a chill yet? Because this is terrifying. My friend, let's call him Joe, is an archaeologist obsessed with history. He loves old books and ancient sites. He once told me, every ruin has a story, and sometimes, those stories aren't finished. Those words stuck with me, like a warning. Joe said it was a blistering day when his team arrived at a nameless, abandoned temple in Ayutthaya, mid-morning. Locals called it the temple behind the hill, hidden in the shadow of a small hill. Only crumbling walls, a half-collapsed stupa, and massive trees with roots clutching the ruins remained. The air smelled of earth and dry leaves. Crows perched on the stupa, cawing, caw, caw. The team began their work. Photos, measurements, and digging along the wall. The ground was tough, tangled with roots and bricks. Sweat dripped, but they were determined. Joe had read old records saying nobles hid treasures in temples during Ayutthaya's fall to protect them from enemies. He was certain something awaited them. They dug from morning to afternoon. The sun scorched their skin. Shovels clanged against dirt, thud, thud. Picks snapped roots, crack. Dust swirled. Joe paced with his notebook, urging, "Careful, don't damage anything." Everyone nodded, hearts racing with anticipation. The deeper they dug, the closer they felt to a discovery. Finally, a worker shouted, "I found it." Something hard. Everyone rushed over. Joe knelt, brushing cold dirt from an ancient wooden chest buried beneath the wall. Its wood was nearly rotted, edges cracked. Strangely, a faint, sweet scent, like ancient sandalwood or incense, wafted out. The team was thrilled. Joe yelled, "This is treasure." Professor Somsak, the team leader, cautioned, don't open it yet. Photos first. Cameras flashed. But Joe felt a strange unease, like eyes watching from the wall's shadow. He glanced, seeing only tree shadows and broken bricks. I'm overthinking, he thought. But the feeling lingered. After photos, they opened the chest. Professor Somsak pried the lid with a small knife. Creak. Creak, the wood groaned. Inside were brass artifacts, ancient coins, and tattered silk. The brass, plates and bowls, bore intricate engravings. The coins had odd symbols, some scratched. Professor Somsak said, "These are likely from late Ayutthaya." The silk, frayed but beautiful, had lotus and peacock embroidery. Everyone was awestruck. The professor mused, this could be a noble's treasure, hidden during the kingdom's fall. Photos snapped, notes scribbled. Mew, and in turn, lifted the silk. This embroidery is amazing. Joe held a heavy coin, probably gold mixed. Excitement buzzed. But Joe's unease grew. He felt someone behind him. He turned, nothing but the ruined wall and swaying shadows. Just tired, he thought. But he knew it was more. The team returned to a small resort near Ayutthaya, an old wooden house, smelling of damp wood. Small rooms, wooden shutters, old mosquito nets. That night, they discussed their find. Professor Somsak said, "Tomorrow, we'll explore more." There could be more. Everyone was excited, examining coins and photographing silk. Joe tried to stay calm, but his unease persisted. He glanced at the tightly shut window. A dark shadow seemed to move. He blinked, must be my imagination, but the weight grew heavier. At bedtime, Joe went to his small, musty room. He turned off the light and lay down. Crickets chirped, chirp, the wind hissed, SSSS. He tried to sleep. Then a cold breeze brushed his feet, despite closed windows. Joe bolted upright, flicked on the light, nothing. Just his bed, a small table, his bag. Just tired, he told himself. But then, he dreamed. A vivid dream. In it, a woman in an ancient tie dress, white sash, long hair, stood by the excavation site, her face sad. Her eyes, full of sorrow, locked onto Joe. She pointed at him, whispering clearly, "Give me back my things." Joe jolted awake, heart pounding. He scanned the empty room. Cold sweat dripped. Just a dream, he told himself. But the feeling lingered. He saw her face every time he closed his eyes. That sad woman in tie dress. "Give me back my things," her voice echoed in his head. He didn't sleep all night. The next morning, Joe looked drained. At breakfast, his team noticed. "Joe, why so pale?" He forced a smile, couldn't sleep. Hesitant, he shared, "I dreamed of a woman in tie dress. She told me to return her things." Some laughed, "You're imagining things." But Tam, another team member, said, "Wait. I had the same dream." All eyes turned to Tam. He described the same woman, pointing at the chest spot, crying, "Sob. Sob." He woke feeling watched. "Mew," the intern added, "I heard faint crying. Sob. Sob, from the corner of my room, despite locked windows." Silence fell. Fear crept in. Joe said, "This isn't a coincidence." Professor Somsak, quiet until now, said, "We may have disturbed something." The team grew uneasy. They returned to the temple, wary. Joe, taking notes, heard footsteps. Step. Step, behind the wall. He turned, nothing but tree shadows. Then he saw a dark, misty figure at the wall's edge. Like a person, but blurry. Joe froze, shouting, "Quick! Something's at the wall." The team rushed over, the figure was gone. Tam said, "Don't scare us, Joe." But Joe insisted, "I saw it." They kept digging, but a heavy feeling pressed on them. Some felt watched. Others heard whispers. No one spoke up. That night, the nightmares returned. Joe dreamed of the woman again. Her white dress, flowing hair, sad face. This time, she approached slowly. Step. Step, she pointed and screamed, "Give me back my things." Her voice thundered. Joe woke, trembling, soaked in sweat. He felt someone at the foot of his bed. The air was unnaturally cold. He flicked on the light, nothing. But then, faint crying. Sob. Sob, from the closed window. He checked, nothing. He sat, shaking, heart racing, unable to sleep. The next morning, the team shared their stories. Tam saw her crying, pointing at the chest. Mew heard sobs all night. Another, Number, dreamed she followed him, knocking on his door. Knock. Knock, fear gripped them. Professor Somsak said, "This isn't normal. We've disturbed a spirit." Joe urged, "We need to return it." Somsak nodded, agreed. "Today, we return it." They packed the chest, drove back in silence. The truck rumbled, RRR. RRR, the wind hissed, SSSS, Joe felt something following. At the temple, they placed the chest back under the wall. As Joe set it down, a gentle breeze passed, not frightening this time. They held a ritual, lighting incense. Smoke curled, its scent soothing. Somsak said, "If we've disturbed you, we beg forgiveness. We meant no harm. May you rest in peace." They bowed. Only the wind, SSSS, and distant birdsong remained. The nightmares stopped. Their rooms felt normal, no cries, no cold. Relief washed over them. Joe said he became more cautious, avoiding anything with an owner. Sometimes I still see her face. That sad woman. Like she wanted to say something. But I'm too scared to ask. This story made me think. Why do spirits linger with treasures? Maybe they're more than objects. Maybe they're someone's cherished possessions, or a duty to protect. That woman, perhaps a noble, or the one who hid the treasure. She may have died with its secret, unwilling to let it go. Or maybe she wanted it to stay, preserving memories. What do you think? Does it make sense? Or is it a warning that some things in this world are best left untouched? I asked Joe, who was she? He said, I don't know. But she wasn't evil. She just wanted her things. I agree. Sometimes spirits don't mean harm. They just guard what's theirs. And that's the story of the chest beneath the Ayutthaya Wall. I hope you enjoyed it. Next time, I'll share another eerie tale. But tonight, if you pass an old temple or wall, listen closely. You might hear, sob, sob, sweet dreams, everyone. See you next time.